Hello, everybody. I'm Tracy Calla. I am the manager of school and family programs at Marie Selby Botanical Gardens, and I'm going to talk to you about what I described in my proposal as an innovative cross-organizational collaboration pilot program for underserved youth in Sarasota and Manatee counties. Project Nature Bridge. Project Nature Bridge actually started almost a year ago when representatives from the Education and Outreach departments came together from Selby Gardens, Moat Marine Laboratory, the Oslo Repertory Theater, as well as the Conservation Foundation. Our goal was to break that barrier that we'd been talking about earlier, about equity and inclusivity, and serve underserved and underrepresented communities with a summer environmental education program. And this program, the goal was to expand access to these kids who don't usually have access to our professionally developed non-formal science education programs. So with the very generous funding of the Charles and Marjorie Barancik Foundation, we're going to be putting together a week of summer camp for about 24 underserved kids from these three organizations, about 8 kids from each organization. That's about as much math as I can do. I'm a theater major, actually. So 24 divided by 3 is 8. So the goal of this program was to improve access to our programs, but also eventually to achieve the goals of improved environmental literacy for these kids and increased appreciation of the environment, increased appreciation of outdoor activities, and hopefully eventually to have environmentally active citizens with also sort of an increased interest in science and an increased interest in STEM careers, and eventually leaders in sustainable communities. We know that these programs for urban kids in particular are very important because cities are where environmental education will do the most good. We are a rapidly urbanizing people. And with more people coming into our cities, with more environmental issues sort of taking place in our cities, it's really important to have educational programs that take place within the context of communities and in cities. So our program here, we have these really lofty goals of maybe eventually changing people's behaviors and changing people's attitudes. But as we sat together and we talked to one another, and as we talked to the partner organizations, we realized that our real goals were just getting kids outside. Let's just get them outside. Let's just get them outside doing something fun. Let's get them outside and make them comfortable outdoors. Because so many kids, and actually I just read a study from the Nature Conservancy, report that they're not comfortable outside. They polled 600 teenagers, and 80% of them said they weren't comfortable outside, because there's bugs and it's hot. And they just don't know how to be outside. So we're hoping to sort of bridge that gap. And we also wanted to create this access because 62% of those kids said they don't have any way of getting to natural activities. And the youth organizations said that to us as well. It's like they don't have access to this, like physically, they don't have access to this. And a lot of them don't feel that they have nature where they are. So we're hoping to bring them to nature so that way they can discover that nature is actually all around us. So what does our week look like? Yeah. All right. So the week will actually begin at the Oslo Repertory Theater. The Oslo Rep has, in the last couple of years, been doing these conservation-themed productions. And this year, it's The Jungle Book. And so The Jungle Book in the Mertz Theater is going to be this sort of innovative production. If you saw 20,000 Leagues last summer, this will be a delight. There will be video projections and some innovative puppetry. And then the kids will be at the Oslo Theater, and they'll be discussing sort of the stories that are presented in Rudyard Kipling's Jungle Book, not the Disney production. And those stories ask, what role does a human play in the natural world? And what responsibilities do we have for respecting and protecting it? And how can we, like Mowgli, consider ourselves good citizens in a human civilization, but also on our wild planet? And so on Wednesday, then, we'll continue the discussion of these themes at the Conservation Foundation. And at the Conservation Foundation, we're going to be teaching students, or they'll be teaching students, not me, about hiking and fishing and kayaking. Then on Thursday, the campers make their way to Selby Gardens to do a little bromeliad tank investigation to see how even a mundane landscape plant can support tons of life. We'll be doing a native plant safari, and we'll be introducing them to their nearby nature. And then what better way to cap off your week by actually crossing that bridge over to Moat Marine, where they'll be going for a boat ride and collecting critters to investigate up close. Our colleagues at Moat have also claimed that day as Pizza Day, so Friday's going to be awesome. So what we're hoping to do with this program is to create that emotional connection, because kids who've had an experience in nature begin to love nature. And if we have people who love nature, then we can hope that they'll become future activists and advocates, and they'll be up on this stage telling their stories as future scientists. So thank you for listening to my story.